Freed from its ruinous shrine, Ting-Lu EX is spreading its curse among the lands of Paldea. When Ting-Lu EX is in the active spot, your opponent's damaged Pokemon cannot use their abilities, excluding any Pokemon EX. In today's deck, we'll have plenty of ways to place damage on the opponent's Pokemon, with Gapejaw Bog, Hawlucha, and Ting-Lu's own Land Scoop attack. Ting-Lu's Land Scoop requires 3 fighting energy, and fortunately Koraidon EX is the perfect card for setting up Ting-Lu EX with all of the energy it needs. Stick around to see gameplay on PTCG Live with my new Ting-Lu deck, and don't forget to subscribe and check out ways you can support the channel in the description down below. Game 1, I'm going second against PAL EX. So they bench PAL EX, attach retreat their Bidoof, and then they're going to Ultra Ball, Excalibur, and an Avery. I think it's kind of interesting that they didn't go for Shivery Cold first or Shivery Chill to search for some water energies to help with their Ultra Ball discard, so they didn't have to get rid of a Excalibur and a supporter, or maybe they could have just gotten rid of one of those cards. There's a Frigibax that they bench, so they're getting a pretty good setup here. And with my starting hand, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to guarantee shutting down abilities just yet. The Gutsy Pickaxe is unusable because I don't have a benched Pokemon, and I don't want to bench the Spiritomb or another Squawkabilly, so I'm just going to research it away. And here we have a Hawlucha, so I can start actually shutting things down. The Greninja and the Frigibax are probably going to be the most important things because the Bidoof technically isn't even evolved yet, and I can always damage it later. The Greninja is something that can guaranteed get them cards right now because it's already there, and then obviously the Frigibax evolves in the Excalibur, and that's like you know, most of their deck. They need the Excalibur. So we definitely want that to have damage on it. Then I'm going to attach to Squawkabilly so I have a retreat, and then we can go ahead and use Squawk and seize the discard, draw 6, and this is going to let us get our Koraidon so I can accelerate some energies. I also have another Hawlucha, so I could put it down and damage the Bidoof. But it would just be 1 damage counter placement. I'm also considering, do I want this Bravery Charm? It probably can't hurt to attach it. So I didn't get a manual attachment to Ting-Lu because I had to manually attach to Squawkabilly. But I do get those 2 energies off of Dino Cry onto the Ting-Lu EX. So Koraidon really showing its strength there. You know, we don't get to attack on our turn 1 pretty much ever with this deck, but we do get to set up our energies. Then they're going to boss up the Koraidon. So bossing up the Koraidon means that they can use their Excalibur ability. They can use Radiant Greninja now because Ting-Lu is no longer in the active, but that was their supporter for turn. So that could stop them from having a full turn. So it's not like they're just completely negating my disruption plan, because I made them do it at the cost of their supporter for turn, bringing up this Koraidon, which is probably not what they would have done if their abilities were not turned off. But they had to boss his orders so they could use Excalibur, and so they could use Radiant Greninja. Now here's Bibarel, so we're going to want to damage the Bibarel next turn. And this Koraidon EX could be getting knocked out here. There's 3 energy down onto the PAL, and then they're going to draw 4 more. They just need 1 more energy to knock out Koraidon EX this turn. There's Skater Park, so that'll guarantee the energies because they can use this next PAL's Shivery Chill to search out 2 energies, and then they have the 2 from the Skater Park retreat from the previous PAL, so a guaranteed of at least 4 energies in their hand. So 4 energies onto the PAL with Super Cold from Excalibur, which they can only use because they forced my Ting-Lu onto the bench by bossing up Koraidon EX. And 240, the Koraidon EX goes down, and they take 2 prizes, but this Ting-Lu is going to be ready to attack, and hopefully we can keep it in the active so that their Super Cold can't work. I don't have an energy in hand, so Boss's Orders is out of the question this turn. I'm going to have to use a draw supporter. No more Koraidons in the deck, unfortunately, so I'll just grab this Ting-Lu and Iono into some energies, so that's good. So we have one Ting-Lu powered up, but that's it, so it's a little scary. Gutsy Pickaxe for a Nest Ball, and yeah, like I said, there's no more Koraidon EX. We'll just play these Nest Balls to thin the deck in case of something like a Judge or an Iono. Then we have less dead cards in my deck, and we swing, putting the Chi and PAL up to 170, and then the Bibarel gets damage as well, so they can't use their Radiant Greninja, their Baxcalibur, or their Bibarel, and so they use another boss's orders, still ignoring my Ting-Lu EX. So they are probably going to knock out the Squawkabilly, take 2 more prizes, go down to a 2 to 6 prize card lead. I'm going to bring up my Ting-Lu EX, and then their abilities will be shut off yet again, and I'll be taking a knockout on this Chi and PAL if they don't switch into the other Chi and PAL for the knockout this turn. So it looks like they will switch. No, maybe not. It looked like they were going to switch, but maybe they'll just attack with this one, and they're powering up the one on the bench preemptively, which is smart. So with 3 energy on the benched one, they would still need 2 more on it to knock out Ting-Lu next turn. Now they Chivalry chilled for 1 more energy, Nest Ball for Palkia, and they're going to concealed cards that energy away, which could come back to bite them, because having an extra energy on that benched Chi and PAL EX could mean that next turn they just need 1 more energy attachment to knock out my Ting-Lu with the Bravery Charm on it. So they're going to replace the Gapejaw Bog with Temple of Sinnoh, which really does nothing. I don't think either decks here are playing special energies. And they're going to Hail Blade KO the Squawkabilly EX, taking that 2 to 6 prize card lead. And now I have my work cut out for me. I need to keep Ting-Lu EX in the active. I need to keep their abilities turned off. And I need to figure out what the heck I'm going to do about that Chi and PAL on the bench with 3 water energies. Because it's only 2 water energies away from knocking out Ting-Lu EX. So I'm going to have to damage the Palkia so they can't use Star Portal to accelerate energies, because Baxcalibur currently can't accelerate energies. So I'm going to Boss's Orders the Palkia V. I'm going to swing into it 150. That'll set it up for a 2-hit KO. And we'll also start poking some damage onto the Chi and PAL with the 3 water energies. Now, my hope here is that they are out of energies. That between the 3 energy on their Chi and PAL and all the energies in their discard pile, they're planning on using Star Portal from Palkia to get those energies back to win the game. But they can't, because Palkia V-Star is damaged and I have Ting-Lu in the active. So they use Escape Rope, and I'll just send up another Ting-Lu. This could be really, really bad, though, because they have 7 in the discard and 3 on board, and I doubt they're playing more than 10 cards. So if they don't have Super Energy Retrieval in their hand, they can't take this knockout, or Energy Retrieval, just a way to get back energies, because 1 more energy on that Chi and PAL will knock out this Ting-Lu. But I am calling their bluff with this Escape Rope. I'm not going to give them the Hawlucha. I'm just going to put up another Ting-Lu, and if they don't have the energy in hand, then they're probably either going to swing 180 into my Ting-Lu, or they're going to pass. They send up the Radiant Greninja, so it looks like they're taking the option of pass. And I have Penny. I also have Boss's Orders. So this is a very tense part of the game. So I can pick up this Ting-Lu because it has no energy on it, and I don't have any switches. And I can send out the one that can actually do some damage. Now, I'm actually just going to end my turn like this, because if I knock out the Radiant Greninja and they have energy boss, or I don't want them bringing up something that can damage my Ting-Lu right now, because I want to be able to boss and get that first hit on the Chi and PAL EX with 3 energy. So if I can boss that up and get the first hit, and then they can't knock me out in return to that first hit, I actually think I can win this game. Okay, and it looks like the opponent just kind of AFK passed the turn. They did nothing for like 20 plus seconds. So yeah, I don't like my hand right now, but I could boss and hit the Chi PAL. I would love to have more options, but let's boss this Chi PAL, hit it for 150, also damage the other Chi PAL, so now that's 30 damage away from being KO'd. And this is really a challenge for them. If they don't have a way to get energies back, then I am going to win. Okay, so the opponent's making 0 actions. It looks like they turned off their game. So we'll go ahead and land Scoop, knock out Chi PAL, put 20 more on the other Chi PAL. That has 10 HP left. And I think the opponent rage quit. They have all 10 water energies in the discard pile. And the opponent was inactive for too long. We get the concede. There we go. And a win from a 2-6 prize card deficit. Game 2, I'm going first against Mew VMAX. We'll bench Ting-Lu, use Gutsy Pickaxe, and then probably get a Squawkabilly here. We could just discard these energies and guarantee with the Koraidon, but we'll get a Squawkabilly and go for a better setup if possible. Squawk and Seize, discard our hand, draw 6, and unfortunately I get 0 ways to get a Koraidon EX, so it's just going to be an attach to Ting-Lu and pass with only 1 energy on the board. They bench a Genesect V, and that's going to take damage from the Gapejaw Bog, so Ting-Lu EX's Cursed Land will shut it down, but they attach Farseal Stone, and they can still use the Star Alchemy V-Star power on Farseal Stone. Ting-Lu does not shut that off. So if I had to guess, they'll probably just get a Battle VIP Pass with this if they don't already have Battle VIP Pass in their hand. And there's the Battle Pass for 2 more Genesects. And since Battle Pass got them directly from the deck, they won't take damage from Gapejaw Bog upon being benched because they were not played from the hand. And then they're going to judge, and I get some stuff to work with. I can at least Ultra Ball for Koraidon if I have to guarantee those energy attachments. They bench a Mew, it takes 20 from Gapejaw Bog. They have 2 Genesects they can use the abilities of. Okay, so there's the first Fusion Strike system for 3 cards. Feather Ball for another Mew V, so their Genesect can draw more. That's going to take the damage from Gapejaw Bog, and then Fusion Strike system to draw them a couple more cards. No energy for turn from the opponent. Their Farseal Stone's already used, so they just play down that extra one to thin out their hand so they could draw more cards. With no sign of Meloetta or Deoxys or Fusion Strike energy, I'm thinking this is probably DTE Mew. We'll go ahead and Trekking Shoes. Trekking Shoes, not going to select this Nest Ball. Maybe I will. Okay, we'll take the Nest Ball. Hawlucha will take damage from Gapejaw Bog, but I really don't mind it too much. That's going to just damage both the Genesects, so now all 3 Genesects have damage on them, so Cursed Land is shutting them all down. My Koraidon will take damage from this, we don't really care. And then Nest Ball to grab the Spiritomb, and that Spiritomb turns off Genesect V's Fusion Strike system ability, even if Ting-Lu isn't shutting it off. So now they have 2 major problems. The Ting-Lu's in the active, turning off their Genesect V's, and the Spiritomb is on the bench, turning off their Genesect V's. Note that my hand is not good at all, but I'm effectively shutting them down pretty well here. If they don't get an attack off this turn, I'd be really happy about that. So they Ultra Ball for a Mew VMAX, and they empty their hand a bit, but they can't do anything about it. This Mew VMAX Genesect deck relies on the Fusion Strike systems of Genesects to keep going through the deck and getting more cards, and I'm shutting it down in 2 different ways right now. So after evolving that Mew VMAX, they'll just pass the turn over, and I don't really have to do much other than just sit here and click Land Scoop, place damage counters on the benched Pokemon, and if they keep drawing poorly, even if they draw into an energy, they can't knock out my Ting-Lu in 1 hit. I do really need to get some energies on the bench Ting-Lu though, just in case something goes wrong. So there's an energy off the top that I'll attach to Ting-Lu, and I'll take the first 2 prizes of the game here on Mew V. They send up the Mew VMAX, 60 damage on it. No energies on board still. All of their Genesects are turned off 2 different ways. Even if they knocked out my Ting-Lu or Boss or something, the Spiritomb's still shutting them down. Nest Ball for another Genesect V, but the Spiritomb's got that locked. So even though it doesn't have damage on it, it doesn't matter. My opponent is taking very slow actions. They're either frustrated, confused, or a combination of the two. I'm going to Ultra Ball here to thin out the deck prior to using Research. I'm not going to be needing more Koraidons, so I could just get that out of the deck. And then I'll Ultra Ball that, thin the deck out even more. I won't be needing more Ting-Lus, so we'll go ahead and Research. Because all I want to see is pretty much like energies and Boss, maybe. So there's an energy that I can attach to the benched Ting-Lu. We'll also go ahead and Gutsy Pickaxe, hoping for an energy off the top, but it's hardly ever an energy off the top with Gutsy Pickaxe. I'll save that Trekking Shoes because there's nothing else I need this turn. And then just swing with Land Scoop. And there we go, another Rage Quit due to Ting-Lu EX's Cursed Land. And also this time Spiritomb getting a little action in there. Game 3. We are against a Radiant Alakazam. Look at that. It is the mirror match. They're benching Koraidon EX and a Ting-Lu EX has got to be shortly following that. Ultra Ball for Squawkabilly EX. Now, they're playing the Radiant Alakazam. I play Radiant Greninja in my list. So we'll have to see if one or the other proves to be stronger in this game here. Of course, the Radiant Alakazam can move damage around, but I can also turn off their Radiant Alakazam with Cursed Land, and my Radiant Greninja will help me draw a card. So will it be better to place extra damage or move damage around, or will it be better to draw cards? They do not get to use Dino Roar, not getting energies into the discard for that. I will be able to use, I called it Dino Roar, but I'm not even sure if that's what Koraidon's ability is called. We'll find out in a second here. I'm going to attach to the active Ting-Lu and also attach the Bravery Charm to it, so now it's up to 290. Dino Cry, Dino Roar, pretty similar. Roar of the Sword from Zacian V, polluting my mind a little bit there. So we'll go ahead and Dino Cry 2 energies onto the active Ting-Lu EX. I have a good hand, got options to work with in there. We put down the Gapejaw Bog. Now, I didn't damage anything on the opponent's board because Ting-Lu doesn't shut off EX Pokemon, so I wouldn't be shutting off Koraidon or Cursed Land by damaging anything. I will want to damage that Radiant Alakazam, however. Once it gets onto the bench, that's going to be a lot easier to do. I'll just put some damage on it with Land Scoop or with Hawlucha. And it looks like the opponent went first, but won't be attacking on the second turn. I went second, and I can definitely attack on my second turn if I wish to. Okay, so attached to Ting-Lu and then just a pass. Maybe if they had Radiant Alakazam, I'm sorry, maybe if they had Radiant Greninja instead of Radiant Alakazam, they would be able to discard a card, draw some cards, get energy into the discard pile, start using Dino Cry. But they are falling behind here. I'll choose to discard that Hawlucha off the Trekking Shoes. And here, I can actually make the decision to just Dino Cry and set up an extra Ting-Lu EX if I wanted to. So I'm going to Iono, see if I get more energies to discard. Yeah, there's 3 energy, and I haven't used concealed cards yet. So I'll Bravery Charm double Ting-Lu, assuming that this mirror match Ting-Lu deck is not playing any ways to get rid of my tools. We'll go ahead and Trekking Shoes, and now I can just Dino Cry, setting up an entire new Ting-Lu. That's 2 Ting-Lus on the board, both with Bravery Charms, 290 HP, ready to swing with Land Scoop next turn. Now Ultra Ball for Hawlucha, and probably put on Greninja and Ting-Lu, if I had to guess. Yep, Greninja and Ting-Lu, so they could shut down the Greninja with their Cursed Land if it's in the active, and just an extra 10 on the Ting-Lu, because why not? So they'll play a Judge for turn, and I get a Penny, which is a really good card to have around. because I can use it to effectively heal one of my Ting-Lus if they take damage. And then they're going to use Dino Cry on turn 3 of the game. And now I have 2 fully powered Ting-Lu EXs, and I'm going to start land scooping through their board. I would love a boss's orders here, but that's just not in the cards. So we'll land scoop 120. The Radiant Alakazam lives with 10 HP. And I'll put that Hawlucha up to 40 damage. So it has 30 HP remaining. So that could either be 2 land scoops or a land scoop plus a Hawlucha of my own. Switch Cart, that's going to heal the Radiant Alakazam by 30 down to 90 damage. So it has 40 HP remaining now instead of 10. Attach to their second Ting-Lu. And they're going to research instead of judge. And land scoop for 150 damage and 20 more on the Radiant Greninja. Now this turn I can just Penny and heal my Ting-Lu and then bench it, attach energy to it again, and deny the opponent a prize, or deny them 2 prize cards here. So yeah, now we're essentially even matched on the amount of energy on board, except I have my Ting-Lus have 10 damage and 20 damage on them, and their active Ting-Lu is about to have 150 damage on it. I'm also going to use not Radiant Hawlucha, just regular Hawlucha to put 10 on Radiant Alakazam and their Hawlucha. So that Hawlucha now has 20 damage left. So I'll go ahead and land scoop 150 active and put 20 on their benched Hawlucha to take a knockout. And deciding where to put this Bravery Charm, I'm just going to hold on to it instead of putting it somewhere that I'll regret. Land scoop, I get to take the first prize of the game and put pressure onto their active Ting-Lu. The opponent hasn't done anything for quite a while, and I wonder if we'll get a third Rage Quit. Oh man, they just passed the turn. They don't even attack. It's gonna tell me the opponent has gone inactive. Ting-Lu EX is just too strong at making the opponent's Rage Quit, even when you're against another Ting-Lu EX. My Ting-Lu EX deck is just the best. It even beats the mirror. So land scoop 150, knock out the Ting-Lu, put 20 on the Radiant Alakazam. They do have EXP share, so they can move an energy, but it looks like the opponent isn't there to make actions. And the Pokemon finally just gets knocked out after waiting idly for 20 plus seconds with the opponent doing nothing. The opponent has to choose a new active Pokemon now. Hopefully the game will time them out if they have just closed it and left. And the opponent was inactive for too long. I was awarded the win. They didn't even take a prize card. GG's. Ting-Lu EX is a really sick card. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.